Good job, Philippines. China is getting a taste of its own medicine. China is accusing the Philippines of illegal provocations in contested waters in South China Sea. China is claiming all the entire South China Sea despite competing partial claims from Brunei, Malaysia, Philippines, Taiwan, and Vietnam. While Brunei and Malaysia are silent or too afraid against China, Philippines, Taiwan, and Vietnam are vocal resisting China's illegal occupation of South China Sea. China also accused Philippine military aircraft of invading Chinese airspace in another disputed section of the sea, and urged Manila to immediately stop illegal provocative activities. Last week, Philippines took control of 6 sandbars, cays and reefs in the Spratly Island, naming it under the jurisdiction of municipal government of Pag-asa Island known as Thitu Island. It is the second largest in the Spratly Islands and the largest of the Philippine-administered islands. Its neighbors are the North Danger Reef to the north, Subi Reef to the west, and Tizard Banks to the south. As the administrative headquarter of Kalayaan Municipality of Palawan Province in Philippines, it also administers dozen other islets, cays, and reefs in the Spratly Islands. Permanent Court of Arbitration rejected China's claims on the South China Sea in 2016 and ruled in favor of Philippines, which currently also has the operational control over the island. Vietnam also claimed the island. USA and Australia have also rejected China's claim as unlawful and baseless. Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte's foreign policy tends to lean towards China, but the country's military and the public are overwhelming anti-China. Chinese attitude in the South China Sea fuels this sentiment. Filipinos will never forget when China seized the Scarborough Shoal in 2012. After a tense standoff with then Philippine President Benigno Aquino, who sent a warship to the area. Aquino later backed down. Scarborough Shoal is 240 kilometers, 150 miles, west of the Philippines' main island of Luzon. Scarborough Shoal, one of several reefs now controlled by China, is one of the region's richest fishing grounds and a flashpoint between the two countries. In April, Manila also lodged diplomatic protests over Beijing's declaration of 2 new districts in what it calls Sancha City, which covered areas in the West Philippine Sea, and the pointing of a radar gun at the Philippine Navy's BRP Conrado Yap. The Philippine Foreign Ministry said it has lodged a diplomatic protest over the illegal confiscation by the Chinese Coast Guard in May of floating devices, known as PAO, that are used to catch fish. It also resolutely objected to China issuing radio challenges to Philippine aircraft conducting maritime patrols in areas of the sea claimed by Manila. In 2016, the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague ruled on a case filed by Manila against Beijing, saying China's historical claims over the South China Sea have no legal basis. China insists on owning the entire South China Sea, rejecting the Hague Tribunal's ruling that invalidated its sweeping claim of the South China Sea. The landmark decision recognized the Philippines' sovereign rights in areas within its exclusive economic zone.
Their new sheltered port, a haven for ships to stay longer even in bad weather. A port like this opens Pag-asa Island to an easier exchange of goods and possibly more economic activity. This achievement is so big that Transport Secretary Art Tugade and Interior Secretary Eduardo Año were scheduled to fly in to inaugurate it.
China ignored the verdict, knowing no country can enforce it militarily. For China, South China Sea is an essential part of its expansionist ambition, and the sheer size of the Chinese Coast Guard and its naval militia make this possible in broad daylight. China converted its frigates into Coast Guard vessels. China has more boats, and no Asian nation can match it when pressure like that is applied in a war of attrition. The bully will prevail. The Philippines Department of Foreign Affairs said in a statement Thursday that it had filed a diplomatic protest to Beijing over the Chinese Coast Guard move to confiscate equipment used by Filipino fishermen in the disputed South China Sea. It also objected to Beijing's radio challenges to aircraft conducting legitimate maritime patrols in the area. These are the 2 issues the Philippines raised in its diplomatic action on Thursday. Philippines Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana on Sunday maintained that illegal provocations on the disputed areas in the South China Sea were coming from China and not from the Philippines. Lorenzana also took exception to claims by Chinese Foreign Minister Zhao Lijian that the Philippines was violating China's sovereignty and security in sending patrol ships and aircraft to the spratlys and other features being claimed by Beijing. Illegal provocations? That area is within our exclusive economic zone. There, China's so-called historical rights over an area enclosed by their 9-dash line doesn't exist, except in their imaginations, Lorenzana said. Hola. Thanks for listening.